Hi, my name is Kamau Bell, and I feel insistent about being Conan O'Brien's friend.
That's the way. That's the way.
Yeah.
I think was the last time I think you were cautiously optimistic. Insistent, I like that. You're demanding it.
We've evolved.
You kicked the door down.
I kicked the door. I'm not leaving without being your friend.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take all these people with me. No, I have sent you emails, and you respond to those emails, which is like ahead of a lot of people. So I feel like that's
no. I have a very like.
Oh, so now I'm hearing you just respond to every email.
I just respond to everything.
I'm Nigerian princes.
Oh my! I'm so tight. I am so tight with the Nigerian prince. I didn't just give money. I then visited the Nigerian prince, and we hang a lot. He's a very nice person. It's terrible what happened to him.
Subject line is, I want to catfish you. You're like, sure, let's talk about this. How do we get this catfish going?
It was, I remember we were going back and forth on something, and then you, for some reason, sent me a picture of your apartment. And I was like, you need to clean.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? And then I felt like I had invaded your space.
Yeah.
But it was very messy. I'm just saying, you got to get that shit together.
First of all, I live in a house. I don't know why I got put in an apartment.
Yeah, wow.
I'm a grown man with children.
All I could see was a one room. So
yes. Well, I didn't go here. Let me show you every room in my house. I didn't.
Well, that's what I expected.
To be a completion. Let me show you the outside, every room.
I want to see
Here's
everything.
my kids' rooms, all three of them. Here's my wife's room. Here's a closet. Here's some clothes. I didn't. I sent you. I forget what the reason was, but I'm sure it was a very good reason at the time, and I feel weird that you brought it up.
I'm glad I brought it up. I just, demonstrated to everyone two things: that we're capable of being very close, and you could be neater. Those are the two things I want to come out of this podcast.
Those two things are true. Those two things are true. That is true. Since then, we've moved into a smaller house, and now my area is the area of the house next to my side of the bed. That's the only area I get to do with what I want. So So it makes it easier to clean up now.
Do you have any weapons in the house? That's what I want to know.
No, we don't have any weapons in the house. I don't. Yeah. I mean,
I'm not a weapons.
I have a 5-year-old who's very feral.
Okay, I want to.
What are you going to do? A home invasion?
Yeah,
why are you asking?
Well, I'm bringing this up for a reason.
I'm bringing this up for a reason,
and I want to get your take on this, and tell me if I'm crazy or not.
Yes.
This is friends with comedian actor Joel McHale. Joel McHale's running shtick with me is he always gives me weapons. Not guns or anything like that, but kind of interesting steampunky weapons that you can buy on the dark web.
One of those knives that does this. You get one of those.
All kinds of crazy things, and I always ended up like hiding them and putting them on a high shelf. And then I think it was my birthday last year. He gave me a crossbow, and a real crossbow. So now I'm announcing this to the world, but. When am I going to use a crossbow? And it's apparently like a very nice crossbow, and it's a box. It's completely unassembled in the box. So I just put the box way on this top shelf, way. And when I say top shelf, I'm 6'4". How tall are you?
6'4".
Okay. I have to stand on a box to reach the top of this shelf and slide this box up there. So it's way up on top of this very, very high shelf in our garage. And it's facing the other way, so you can't even see what it is. And it's this box. And inside, it has a disassembled crossbow. And the other day, my wife is saying, I think it's just crazy that you have that thing in the garage. And I said, what? And she said, I mean, anyone breaks into our garage and there's a weapon right there. And I said, what? And then she said, someone could come in and they could use that crossbow against us. And I said, hold on a second. You're saying someone could come into our garage, see that box, investigate it, spend 40 minutes assembling a 14th century weapon, and then come up into our bedroom, and I said, and menace us? That's what I used. I said, menace us with a crossbow, and they've got one shot, and then I charge? I was like, okay, that part.
What?
You don't strike me as a charger.
I'm not a charger.
You strike me as a target.
You strike me as old school cowerer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like an old school, not even new school cowerer.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. My wife would charge. I would flee.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Flee screaming, the money's in there.
I can always remarry. I would scream as I fled.
The insurance is in her name.
She has more shoes than you think. As I flee into the underbrush. Anyway, I just thought, no, that's not something that's not yes, if I had a handgun lying around, But I don't think that's a legitimate thing to be worried about. I want you to weigh in.
I just like the fact that the person breaks into the house. First of all, you have no security apparently, which is interesting. Breaks into the house.
I'd like to get that out there too.
Yeah,
I do
no
not.
Security. Just there's
He
no
doesn't even have
alarm.
a working
There's-
crossbow.
I don't believe in alarms and locks.
Yeah. So
they don't really work.
So they get to this high shelf. So they're like, so let's say it's like Victor Wembanyama breaks into your house. So he just reaches up and grabs it because he's 7'4".
It would have to be someone,
He
very tall.
who can see it. He just looks and goes, "Oh, crossbow right there."
Right.
Pulls it, opens it up. It's a crossbow. Probably not expecting a crossbow. Then they pull up a YouTube video on their phone. How to assemble this crossbow.
Yeah.
And you hear all the and in that time, you and your wife are just deep ambient sleep.
Yes.
Like no
deep sleep.
Deep sleep.
And then comes into the bedroom. And the first thing I would do is I'd be looking at the crossbow and the person wielding it and probably noticing that they've missed a step in the assembly. And I'd be saying
one
that.
of those ones you have to step on and pull up, or
Yeah, I think it's a very complicated. There's like a ratchet.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean, crossbows were always complicated. They were not. That's why we don't still have them around in general. They very quickly were like, this isn't worth it.
There was a rash of drive-by crossbow.
Muskets also didn't last very long. You better stand there for 20 minutes while I get this reloaded. Yeah, these are not the weapons that.
I'm going to empty this powder into this. Yeah.
But I can guarantee my wife would not let me have any style of crossbow assembled or unassembled in the house. There's one of those.
Well, so you're sort of saying my wife is you get it. You get it. Maybe I was wrong. I was having fun with the whole thing, as I do, mocking her.
First mistake as a husband.
Yep. Robbing her of her agency. And I was wrong. I admit now that I was wrong.
Okay, good for
Wow.
But we also have a fully functioning World War II landmine in the.
It's armed.
And I just thought someone would go to that first. Of course it's armed, dummy.
Okay, sorry.
I'm not going to buy a dud
My
online.
bad. Yeah.
That thing cost me $600.
Now that I'm with, because that's fully armed. It's ready to go.
I'm always amazed at people that, and I think it's a big thing here in LA is people that have a lot of weapons in the house. And I always think that just doesn't go well. That never is. It doesn't seem like a good idea.
I mean, people forget that California is basically like Texas with gay people. You know what I mean? Like it's not really this sort of like bright blue, whatever. Most of the state is Texas. So there's a lot of guns here.
Right.
There's a lot of guns. We just sort of have different laws, but that doesn't mean we don't have the number of guns. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're just, but Joel would give me, he gave me, I think were you there, Adam? He gave me a mace. Like a modern interpretation of a knight's mace. So it's not the big spiky ball, but it was this sort of steampunk mace that someone's making in their basement and selling them online.
So like the kind of mace somebody would pitch on Shark Tank.
Exactly. And
I have updated the mace.
Right. And two of the sharks would be interested.
Yeah.
Others,
Mr. Wonderful's definitely in.
Mr. Wonderful would be like, I'm in, but we're doing it my way.
Yeah. You licensed the mace. Mark Cuban, the Dallas Mavericks, we don't have a mace in our team store. Yeah.
I have to say, Mark Cuban is always the one saying, for that reason, I'm out. He always says it almost immediately. Almost immediately. He rarely gets involved. And I'd like this to be a deep dive on Shark Tank.
I don't watch I don't watch Shark Tank.
I did have a period of time where I was like, that was the one show I watched. So I could have done it. I could do a deep dive on Shark. That was the only show I watched on TV.
Should I quickly explain, because maybe it hasn't come up yet in the podcast, that Sona showed up today. She has lost her voice.
Yes,
she was at an all-night rave.
I went to a rave.
And this is her real voice right now.
Did you
and
really?
And I just wanted.
I raved it.
In case people don't know, like
you have a time machine?
They're listening to this interview with this very funny guest.
I wore a candy necklace.
And I was, and at one point you were saying like, I'm not sure I should come in. And I was praying that you would come in because it sounds like you're at the bottom of a very deep hole.
I know, it's awful. I felt bad coming in because it is distracting. I'm a very loud person.
No, I know. And I'm also mad at you a little bit too. So
what did
we
I
have
do?
beef.
What? We beef?
We have beef. We have beef. And
Because I didn't invite you to the rave.
No, that's the second beef. We have two beef. We have double beef.
Double beef.
We have
Two patties.
Wow.
Two patties of beef.
Oh my god.
Our books came out on the same day.
Oh, that's right.
Mhm.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I remember that because I saw your name on the New York Times bestseller list too, right next to mine.
Yeah.
Except yours stayed there longer.
Yeah, that's why the beef is not as hot as it would have been.
Yeah.
But I did notice, I was like, oh, well, excuse me, competing on this weird, obscure list that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
Random assortment of lists written by people who might be celebrities.
Matt, there are 4 people at this table.
Uh-huh.
2 of them are talking about the day that they were on the New York Times bestseller list.
Yeah.
And you and I don't know what's happening.
No, but
we don't experience that.
No, we don't. But we know our World War II minds, you know?
Okay, yeah, that's the same.
It was a
It's the same.
contact mine.
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that a New York Times bestseller rave last night? Then I will be mad.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
All their favorite members on the list were invited.
The guy who wrote The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep.
He was
Yeah.
tearing it up.
Was it the
He
atomic?
didn't-
Yeah.
He
yeah.
didn't give a
I
fuck.
just love listening to
I
her
know.
like this. Is there any way, and this, I don't want this to sound in any way insensitive, but can we do something to you surgically so you always sound like this? This is
This
fantastic.
is so no, I don't.
I
like
mean, they
this.
could. I mean,
Don't you? Yes, they could.
You shouldn't, but yes, you could. That is a thing that could. Yeah.
It's the
Well,
first time
thank
I've
you, doctor.
experienced it.
It's like, you could. It's like Jurassic Park. You can do it. Should you do it? Is the second question.
Exactly.
It's the first time I've seen you kind of vulnerable. It's nice. Yeah.
It's nice. I hate it so much.
It's like a pirate who's now in a tiny little canoe.
Yes.
You know, you're used to the pirate being like, "Arr!" and they've got lots of men with cutlasses and you're scared. And now you've got this little canoe and a little pea
What the
shooter.
hell?
I'm sorry, that's what you are
Oh
now.
my God.
Well,
I'm
she's
true.
screaming right now. That
No
was
one's
I
afraid
am
of you.
Screaming.
Yeah.
It was like General Patton took a hit off a helium balloon or something, you know?
Anyway,
The trick is not to die for your country.
anyway,
It's to get the other son of a bitch to die for his country.
that's what else is going on with you.
Yes.